We're going live anyway.
And we're live!
Hi.
Howdy, y'all. Welcome to tonight's episode of Oodvin. As always, I'm your host, Maxwell Williams, and I play a whole bunch of cool, interesting, quirky, and potentially dangerous characters, including a newly found compatriot of the party that has been missing for a day or so, Brad.
Whoa.
Brad. Oh boy.
We Brad.
Yeah.
We stand, Brad.
Hi everybody, my name is Sam Rinaldi and I play Winnie Winslow, the Twilight Cleric, and I'm gonna go finish making my hot chocolate.
Hi, y'all. My name is Connor McGinley, and I play Feloy, the Modern Wizard. And he's had like 6 names over his lifetime for different reasons. Maybe we'll get into that.
Ooh. Hello, everyone. I'm Dan Brancato. I play Zephyr Windstrider, the Air Genasi College of Swords Bard Paladin of the group. Little fun fact about Zephyr this week is if he were in the real world, his favorite Jujutsu Kaisen character would be Aoi Toto. Big Toto fan.
Why is it? Because he also simps for a girl?
Yeah. He thinks his power is cool too.
Hi, my name is Julie Risto, and I play Octavia Lagazur, the swashbuckling warlock of Half-Orc. Captain of her people. I said captain, I meant chieftain. Wow, words are hard.
We'll get there.
It's okay. Wow, we're only just starting. And, yeah, that's it. That's all she wrote, and that's all my brain's got today.
Eowyn?
Oh, that's me. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm distracted.
It's like, wow, you're really making me sit in this awkward moment that I made for myself. That's kind of cruel.
Hello, my name is Aaron Borden. I play the character Februm Cask, the Simic hybrid blood fighter. And I don't know. I don't have anything prepared either.
Wow.
And I'm
Bravo.
Jordan.
Oh no.
I play all. Oh, am I cracky again?
Oh,
yeah.
Grandpa's gone back to Quispy.
Hello. Am I still crispy? We're just
Yeah.
gonna roll with it.
Yeah.
Is it like super crispy?
It's
like
better than
normal
it
crisp.
was like 5 seconds ago, but it's still pretty crispy.
The Rice Krispies have
Alrighty,
been sitting
everybody.
in the
Hello. My name's Aldrich Bernask. I'm an armor artificer. I'm a little old and I'm a little burnt right now.
and
Crispy.
hags love it.
And hags love me.
Hags love him, guys hate
Hags
him.
want him, guys want to be him.
Doctors hate him.
I was gonna
These
say,
10 tips for
your
this
doctor will
simple
hate
trick.
you if you get this secret from this old man.
On how to be even older.
6 years, in fact. Specifically that number.
Specifically. Well, with that, let's do a quick little recap how we got here. So, our party has been hanging out in the Twilight Grove, recuperating, figuring out what their next moves are. They have obtained a soul resurrection ritual from Crookton, and have been informed that they need 4, probably 5, fairly powerful spellcasters in order to pull off this ritual in combination of casting it in a location of magical power. Now, the party was given a couple options. They have these time pools, which seem to be the closest option. But angling towards, as Zephyr said, killing one bird and then raising another bird, are probably headed towards the constructed shard, the next shard on their wish list to pick up before heading over to Ember's Blaze in order to start dealing with all of that. So our party has rested, has talked. I believe we have one day of some business and stuff that everyone wanted to take care of before finally making the journey. So I know we have a group that was heading to check on the car. I think Feloy, you were going to track down Brad.
I guess that's my first thing, yeah.
At least to start. So yeah, let's just start there. Feloy, go ahead, make an investigation check.
Okay. Oh, jeez. I don't have my character sheet open. Hold on. Well, it's a 19 plus something.
Oh, probably plus a ridiculous number.
Investigation plus 10, 29.
That's what I thought. It takes you but a moment to track down Brad at a little section of the grove that is home to some dryads. Brad has you kind of like walk up thinking you know what you're going to expect, but you end up like Brad is over here like showing them like pictures on his phone and being kind of like a dork, and you see the dryads are like, they probably enjoyed this at one point, but
it's like when people are sitting patiently like, yes, I'm waiting for you to be done.
And they see you walk in, and a couple of the trees dryads are gonna walk up to you and be like, oh, Feloy, pleasure. Oh, do you have some important business for us to be taking care of?
Not at the present moment. I do have some business with Mr. Bradley Jenkins here, however.
Oh, that works perfect. Oh, Brad, we're so sorry to see you go. Oh, we were just getting the party started. Like,
yes,
are you
I'm
sure
sure you were. I would like to prohibit any unsanctioned partying in the Grove, however, so you'll have to run the details by me first.
Oh, sweet. So like, we gotta book everything with you before we like really get it going in here. Understood. Ladies. I'll be right back. One of the dryads is like,
He kind of just does a small nod of acknowledgement.
Brad will follow with you. So what I was thinking is like we get like maybe like 3 or 4 kegs and like a handle or 2 vodka, tequila, rum.
Feloy keeps walking, does not look at him, is leading the way, but manifests like paper and his quill and starts writing on this piece of paper.
And just the entire way back, Brad maybe stops talking for like 3 seconds at one point because he gets out of breath. It's just constant babble about this extravagant party that he has planned, and like he kind of looks like a musclehead and everything. He's got this like down to every single detail. Like he knows where everyone's gonna stay for the night. He knows like he's got the food prepped, the hydration, like any sorts of medicines, like herbal remedies for hangovers the next morning.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, he easily follows you back to camp.
Now, would this party heavily like interfere with much of the life in the grove. Like, can I
Interfere is an
reserve-
interesting word.
I was gonna say, can I reserve a section where there won't be noise complaints, or?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like he's also got like the time schedule for like when things are gonna happen. It'll be pretty loud at the beginning, but they
Right.
taper off.
I
There's
mean,
little
he's
like
giving
breakout
him.
rooms
Yeah, he's giving him the benefit of the doubt.
for like. Go ahead and make an insight check.
Okay. 14 plus 2, 16.
Thinking back on like the dryads and how Brad has been acting for the past 10 minutes of constant conversation, you get the feeling that the complaint from the dryads wasn't his like macho energy. It was that they just wanted to party and he wanted to make sure everything was planned out.
Okay.
And
I
it's one
see.
of those like they lost interest after like the 12th hour of Brad going into what was going to happen and
I
getting
see.
everything situated.
Okay. So I think he finally like arrives back at the main area with Brad. And he finally turns to face him and says, "All right, Mr. Jenkins, I will review your itinerary, make some necessary edits, and get that back to you so you have ample time to prepare for your shindig."
Oh, sweet. You do that. Can I like borrow some like alchemy supplies? I feel like the booze like around here may be limited. I don't know like what stocks y'all have, but like I came prepared. Like I know how to brew stuff.
"I do not trust you to brew your own materials in the grove, Mr. Jenkins. If you'd like to have someone oversee it, I can make an appointment."
Oh, sweet. Yeah. Like, do you need like a list of all the things I'll need? Like, I can just like scribble it down real fast. Here, I'll send it to you. He like pulls out his phone and he like, whoop, like little wristband gets a like, do you accept this like airdrop?
He kind of looks at it and he kind of sighs. "All right," and he accepts it.
But Brad will like toddle off. Probably finds the doctors again. And was just like, "Oh, you guys are like so awesome. You're like so smart and also like so cute." And the doctors just like sit and wag their tails.
They don't mind the attention.
Nope. Golden Retriever energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Car group. Y'all doing anything in specific?
I'm just trying to do what I can to make sure that we are ready to go. And whether that is me actively trying to look at the engine and being like, engine-y parts, or like putting stuff away. Like it all depends. I do think Octavia definitely like lifts the hood once and she's like,
It is.
Engine's still there.
So
looks fine to me.
it is a like ongoing magical fission engine kind of deal. So it like you open it up and your entire like face is hit by this like bright blue light.
Just like underlit, and she's just like, well, it looks fine to me. Slam.
An important thing to note, though, now that we're starting to rack up bodies, the
Yes.
Tide Strider only fits 9 people.
Okay. Duly noted.
And you are at 10 total with NPCs right now.
Guess we're leaving our party guy behind in the grove.
Because you've got Iris, Axel, Ned, and Brad.
Mm-hmm.
And what's his name?
Alisander. That's 11.
Oh, you've got Alessander now too. I
Oh.
forgot.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oof.
Hmm.
Weird.
So, things to think about. What else are the people doing? Anything in specific? I know at least 2 of y'all have things that you wanted to work on.
I'd say I'd also have something I want to work on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I was one of the 2.
You were one of the 2.
When he's
Well,
probably just
if that's all they're doing with the car thing, then I will just posit that I want to, like, canvas more terrain today. Today will be
Yeah.
a good mapping day. Whenever there's a moment for that.
What was
Of
it
course.
that everyone was doing again?
Februm?
I mean, he was kind of looking over the plans for the ritual, but also mainly right now working on the eye stalk.
Zephyr. I just remember saying that Zephyr wanted to cook a nice meal for everyone.
Yes. Would you do you have proficiency in cooks
I
utensils?
think I do. I'm gonna double check.
Welcome, Samantha. You're the DM now.
I don't know. I lose
Good
something.
luck.
If we win.
Hi guys, I'm the DM at this session, and I have nothing to offer except my little cup. Look out! Dragon on it. Look at him.
Oh, I thought I did,
His
but I
tail
no.
is.
It doesn't
Yeah.
look like it.
So I'll give you the option. Which mental trait would you like to use to cook your meal?
Charisma.
Of course.
Sure. Go ahead and make me just a d20 with your charisma modifier. No proficiency.
You want to use charisma? Okay, cool. Roll me a straight d20 with your wisdom modifier.
That is a. I forgot my charisma. It's a dirty 20 or a 21.
Okay.
It is a 21.
Winnie, you're probably sticking around with Zephyr, or are you heading out to do other things?
I'm probably spending time with my brother, but he can eat with us if he wants.
Yeah, he'll come down to the camp and like get out of the laboratory and kind of Crichton space because that can be a little chaotic anyway. So the 2 of you are kind of sitting and chatting as you watch this marvelous performance being put on by Zephyr. Like things are being like chopped in midair, and they're like
small face sprinkle.
like the pastes and the custards and even things you didn't think were going to be a part of the meal are being like added in, and it is beautiful and colorful. And you see these like beautifully prepared dishes with like little like sauces that have been put in circles and then ran through so it looks like a leaf. Looks immaculate.
Just that thing with the brownie where when you pour the caramel over top, you put your knife through it and then do it the other way so it's got like the fun pattern.
Yeah.
Yep. A lot of pastries or like baked goods alongside actual food.
Pastries are actual food.
Well, I mean like
Pastries.
meal food.
Pastries are meals.
They are meals.
Touche. Okay.
Continental breakfast. Fight
It is
me.
not. It is not the meal that he is preparing.
Yeah, a lot of
Several
in this
side
case,
dishes.
they are an accessory.
True.
simply another course.
The food looks immaculate.
His iPod's blaring "Be Our Guest" from Beauty and the Beast.
On loop.
You don't know animate objects, do you? I know
No, but
Feloy
I
does.
levitate.
You know someone who does.
Incredible.
Amazing. Al, you're working on your thing, right?
Yes.
Let's say if you you spend most of the day doing that, it's yours.
Nice.
Beautiful, beautiful. Februm, are you working on your thing?
I am.
Okay, okay. Why don't you go ahead and make me an Arcana check?
Okay. That's going to be a 19.
19. You. So, okay. Idea is to use the stock and the eye. One of the eyes. Is that what we're.
Yes.
Okay.
So I imagine the first step that he would go into doing would be like making sure he can make his blood compatible with the appendage.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, finding a way to attach and possibly combine the eyes that he has left.
Gotcha. So yeah, you end up using the first couple of eyes as kind of tests. In infusing your blood into each eye. You end up like cracking one or two in the process, but it helps you calibrate it much better. And with the help of your third eye, you're able to kind of modify the flow of the blood coming from your body and mess with the veins a bit, you know, a whole bunch of doctory stuff that myself as someone who studied film does not know, but I'm sure Februm does. And you make some really solid progress. It's not quite finished. It's not ready to attach to your body yet, but you have figured out pretty much all the kinks and done all of your test work. Sweet. Anything else? Winnie, did you want to have any conversations with your brother, or are you all just chatting and catching up?
I think we're just chatting and catching up.
Sweet. Sounds amazing. He is lovely and sweet. You can't help but notice that there's a bit of guilt. In kind of leaving you and your father alone without much explanation. So there's a little bit of the like, maybe he's trying a little too hard to make up for it, but not in a like malicious or bad way. He just like, you know, wants to show you how much he cares. Alrighty. Anyone else doing anything?
Not unless
Other-
Al stops by the car at some point.
Ooh, right.
I'll stop by the car at the end of the day.
Cool. Feloy. What kind of check do you want to make for your
Well, I was gonna say, let's give some context because I know we talked about it briefly.
Yep,
But
share with the
just
audience.
to get everyone on board. Feloy knows project image, which is what allows him to check out the waste for the most part. He's been out basically searching all around the waste with this spell. Lets him project a duplicate of him 500 miles to a place he has seen. So he couldn't go that far at first, but he has been able to get about 500 miles in the direction that we need to go. So he's projecting a duplicate of himself, basically at this waypoint, 500 miles toward the construct shard. And he wants to keep heading out toward the shard as far as he can in, the time he has. To see if he can identify any hazards, find the best path. And of course, he's also looking for any Modron entities who are like stuck in the waste along the way that he can, pick up when the party goes over that way.
Sweet. Go ahead and make an investigation check and a perception check for me.
Yeah. That makes sense to me. Investigation is 26.
Beautiful.
Perception, my gosh, I'm rolling well. Perception is 25.
Not bad. So you... I'm gonna...
Just for additional context, because I don't know if even the party has noticed this feature, but Feloy's eyes have been augmented. So he basically has eyes of the eagle, but just built into his eyes, so he can see up to a mile from wherever his duplicate is. So he's actually pretty... He's designed himself to be better at finding Modron.
Mm-hmm.
For
So
this, for the idiots in the what is a Modron?
Feloy is a Modron. It's
Okay.
just robots, basically the entities of the
this
construct plane.
Okay, thank you.
So, Dot would have been the,
Yeah.
like, entry-level Modron.
Dot would be a
okay.
monodrone, and then
Mhm.
there's like
Thought about
levels.
Rip Dot.
Wonder where Dot is now.
Rest in pieces.
Yeah, what happened to that?
I don't think
I don't
Dot
know if
is.
I want to know.
I think Dot is
I don't-
okay.
I think Dot is perfectly fine.
So yeah. You start at your 500 mile mark, which is close to like the first like full day of travel. Calculating the speed that the Tide Strider will be going, you'll end about that 500 mile mark on the first day, which is close to the entrance of the ravine. So where you either decide to take the cut path that should lead you straight to the construct shard, or you decide to go the upper paths, which are far more exposed, and a little more treacherous. You take a look around, and as you would expect, there are some larger Modrons and constructs on the upper parts of the ridge that seem to be wandering a little mindlessly.
Oh, they didn't power down.
These are corrupted.
Yeah. Okay.
And they have been... you've known about these ones for a while. They're too big for you to handle by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those like kind of sad reality things where there's just nothing you can do for these guys right now.
Okay.
But assuming you start heading down the ravine area,
Is there any reason not to go down?
it's the only reason not to is because it's a one-way in, one-way out kind of situation.
Oh, so like if they had set an ambush, you'd be pretty screwed.
Yeah.
Okay.
You are exposed when you go up, and there's some more dangerous creatures up there, but you have more options for escape. Where the ravine is pretty deep down, and unless you're going like in through this entrance and out through the exit, it's hard to get in. But if you do run into complications, you've got maybe like 30 to 50 feet on either side of movement before you're going to hit like very steep rock walls.
Okay.
But you've traveled down this area a bit before. You begin moving down. Nothing seems to pop out too much at you. You kind of scour the area. There aren't too many full constructs that you haven't already been able to recover around this area. But there's always plenty of parts, and you do end up finding a couple of cores along the way, which are not super useful by themselves, but you could use them to recreate constructs with little difficulty.
Now, did the core, I mean, not that they have really any consciousness to begin with, but would it carry like the same? Would it be like having the same brain of like a dog or something? Would they have similar experiences to before, or?
It would depend on how much it's damaged, how much
Right.
like information has been lost over time.
It's like a hard drive. You might have to wipe it. You might be able to save some of it.
Yeah, it just kind
Okay.
of depends on what happens in that moment. They do seem to be in pretty good condition. You find some damaged ones, of course, as you do, but there are a couple. I would probably say like 4 or 5 with that check. They're able to glance at that are in fairly good condition.
Okay. I think each time he finds one, since he can't really do much to notate physically where he's at with the duplicate, he changes his perspective back to his real body and like jots a like small short sketch of the area so that he can find it quickly again.
Of course. You rolled really, really well on perception. Go ahead and roll me a D100.
Do we see something that was vexing Lily greatly? That's 66.
That's
66. You you rolled really well on both of them. Okay. You get down into the ravine, making your way, traveling a path, and there is a moment where the ravine kind of straightens out for a second, and you have this like several miles of just like straight ravine in fairly clear weather. It like almost like gets to like a horizon point in the ravine itself, and there has always been this prominent golden light on the horizon in this direction, and you don't see it.
So it's at this golden light like toward the end of the ravine, so toward where the construct shard would be.
Like
Okay.
hundreds and hundreds of miles. It's the only reason you're seeing it is because it's so bright and because you're
Right.
so used to it just being there.
Had I come up with any theories of what it would be? Or does Crookton have any indication of what it would be? Do I surmise that it's the location of the construct shard?
Go ahead and just make a history check.
Okay. Well, there's a... history is still 16.
There's been a couple of things. It could be just like a big metal sheet that's got some kind of reflective magic and stuff in it. But the more prominent theory is this is probably some sort of rift or beacon that was created by the shard itself.
Okay. So its absence is alarming.
I would say so.
Okay. Good to know. So, do I have... I mean, I guess it's still pretty far after you go through the ravine, but the ravine at this point doesn't look any more treacherous than normal.
You would, like, your first 2 days of travel, you're not seeing anything that's gonna, like, heavily impede you other than a collection of small creatures here and there, but your power level and the power level of the rest of the party is... We're talking,
Right.
like, cantrips to get
Yeah.
rid of stuff.
Okay. I
Over
think...
9,000.
You only have to be careful now, because if you take damage, then the spell ends.
Right. I think he doesn't necessarily see a need to go any further right now. He's done pretty much what he wanted, and finding this news, he wants to probably give people as much heads up as possible. So he, like, leaves the duplicate where it is, but doesn't really perceive through it for now. I think he probably goes to Crookton before the party.
Mm-hmm.
If she's not tremendously busy with something that she deems
She-
important.
She is always tremendously busy with
Yeah.
something or another, but she's never made you wait too long.
Yeah. So yeah, he does his, like, little alarm bell, just a little soft chime to indicate that he requests her presence.
Mhm.
And then he waits.
Just a minute. I'll be right with you. I swear. I'd say about, like, maybe, like, 15, 20 minutes go by.
I think he goes back to the illusion for a few to just, like, wander around, see if there's just anything interesting, but he doesn't stay there long.
And as soon as you come back, Crookton is, like, sitting in front of you, sipping on a cup of tea, like she's been waiting on you this whole time.
Of course.
She's like, "Oh, I didn't want to interrupt."
He kind of looks at her. He's kind of used to this kind of behavior, so he's not, like, that annoyed by it. Yes. So... Oh, yeah, your transients. It seems there has been something dire. That beacon, that glowing light in the distance toward the construct shard,
Oh, yes.
it's gone.
And you haven't traveled there yet.
I am physically unable to get all the way to the shard, even with my projection.
And, like, the party hasn't claimed the shard yet?
No, I fear that perhaps a third party may have done something.
Well, there's not many individuals who could do such a thing. I mean, the rest of the gods can't get close. And as far as I'm aware, this party holds the rest of the shards. So even traveling through the waste would be essentially a death sentence.
I surmise that there are only a couple of entities that exist still that may have been able to do something. But I wanted to come to you first to first of all inform you of this and perhaps see if there was some other explanation that perhaps I hadn't accounted for.
Let me roll for cryptid. Oh, that's not bad.
I hope she can't roll bad. She can roll good or really good.
Yeah. It is possible that... No, then... If the planar entity, where the shard has kind of encased itself, collapsed on its own, I would have felt it. The only way that I see that it stopped is that somebody took it.
He kind of nods. Will this compromise the location as being a place of power?
It's possible. I've traveled there, so allow me to do a bit of scrying. See if I can't gather any more information.
Of course.
Thank you, Feloy.
And thank you.
She kind of like quickly and worriedly will get up and like forces a hand up, and this scrying pool will show up, and she dips her hands in. And we'll begin to scry.
I was gonna say, I think he leaves her to do that. It is the same thing we're talking about, but if she sees something, and it's her discretion if she wants to tell him, basically. But he is gonna go to the rest of the party at this point, wherever they're at, and inform them, either one by one or in a group, depending where they're at.
I feel like it's pretty safe where Al, you go check on the car. This thing, like, it's like constructed to like self-clean and self-repair to an extent. Like the car blows up, it ain't coming back from that, but bumps, scrapes, your kind of general wear and tear. If you didn't have your time restraint, this thing would probably be good for decades without needing like a tune-up.
Hey. How does it do that?
Magic.
A combination of different spells, enchantments, lots of transmutation that's been inscribed as secondary enchantments in order to, take in bits of the surrounding sand, dust, other small particles, and transmute them into the metals and other materials that are needed for the repairs in the car. This is like pretty fucking ingenious.
Okay.
So her uncle's rich. No.
You probably get the impression that this car was starting to be built when Octavia was born.
Hey.
Wait, so hypothetically, would you be able to? Would the car be able to take in flesh?
It is not designed to take in biological components.
Cool. That's it.
I'm so concerned. Does he just
I
like
was gonna
look
make
at?
her
does-
be-
Interesting
Does
question.
Al just like look
I'm
at
gonna play-
Octavia and ask?
No, I'm looking at the runes.
Okay, because if he had just
Yeah.
like, can your car take flesh as gas? She'd be like,
It's
Like
probably
a
one of those
Horizon
things of
situation.
like Ned walks up to you and goes, "I wish,
I was thinking the same thing.
I wish."
if only, right?
If only.
Am I
If
right?
only.
It's not six
Stick.
legs, but 4 wheels will get you there.
Oh my word. Yeah, they probably go out back to camp after that.
Yep.
Terrifying.
So everyone arrives back at camp with Zephyr's sprawling platter of beautifully prepared food stretched out in front of you.
Right as Be Our Guest is ending for like the 7th time.
7.
7.
At least.
It's like
He probably
15.
played something else on the way.
Hold on, if we're gonna
Um,
figure out the
Because my
logistics
photo
of
in there.
this. Hold on.
Just
How
could've
long
played
would
other
you
music,
say?
But
How
he would
long has he
always go back to
started?
Be Our Guest. He's very good at cooking.
But as we calculate that, you are all getting seated as Feloy approaches the party.
Hello. I do not. I subsist on other energy sources.
Noted.
If it took
Sorry,
him,
continue.
it
I
would
didn't mean
it would
to
take 15 playthroughs to get an hour, and that's being generous. So you're on like
interrupt.
18.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I have discovered something troubling, and I thought it important to inform you before we make our trek. There is this beacon, light, that has shone brightly in the distance toward the construct shard, I believe at its location, though I've not been able to go there myself. And on my investigation of the area, it seems that it is not there anymore.
What?
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 I have informed Crookton, and she is looking into scrying at the location. She is more capable of traversing the waste than I. But
So,
we surmise that it has been taken by some third party.
You mean like the construct shot is gone?
We expect so. There is little other explanation for the beacon to disappear.
I'll pull up my compass and see if it has changed.
So you pull out the compass, tuning out everyone close to you. You get the very heavy pull north, that you know to be Ember's Blaze. And then you get a pull east.
So it's in this
Where you
same
would
place still.
where you would expect it to be coming from.
Who else is left wandering around in the wilderness that isn't going insane?
Bone guy.
Who was that man we? Yes.
Oh, that guy. Well, didn't seem to have any desire to take any of the shards as far as I could tell. He just wanted bones.
But if he's walking around relatively fine, I wouldn't be surprised if there were other people doing the same.
Oh, he was very infected. Like,
No,
we
yeah, I
could
probably
not.
figured.
So I believe he's
Um,
the deep exception.
Hmm.
I don't mean to pry, but Mr. Zephyr, you indicated that you may have some contact with someone who was in the waste at some point.
My sister, but last I checked with her, she was either kidnapped or spying on someone or about to be kidnapped. It's kind of like this plane I saw taken where it's like they were sending me the the message before he got taken, but
Do you think that could be related?
I mean that would that would be the best possible outcome. Is if she's the one with it.
I suspect that if she was spying on someone or something, that it would be that something that has been, that would be more likely to have taken it.
Okay, well that's less than the best possible outcome. But
I agree.
What does that mean for the ritual then?
It is unclear. Some places like that can manage to maintain that sort of power for an amount of time after its source has been taken. But until we hear more from Crookton or we go there ourselves, I won't be able to identify whether it's still suitable for the ritual.
So, in other words, unless we hurry, we're on a time crunch to get Lily back.
Well, there is other locations. The time
still, like-
pools are still
yeah.
a viable option.
Will that work? Or is that going to be a lot riskier? I can't remember why we decided to.
It's
To not
as
go there.
stable as the shard location would be.
Not to mention, you suggested it would be easier to go to one location rather than diverging from our path to go to another.
That's true. Okay. I did forget about that.
Well, then we should head out soon, shouldn't we?
Yes, I think our plan to make our way over should be done as quickly as possible.
So, do we wait
Yeah.
for Crookton to finish, or do we go now?
We can wait till the morning, I expect, and hopefully she'll have some useful information.
Well, unrelated, but like, Axel, you only needed to like sleep off one more night, right? To like get your mojo back, give or take.
So I've technically got 2 more nights, but like 1 more night here should like do me pretty good travel, and then I can just like catch up on the road.
Yeah, we'll make a spot for you in the back seat. Speaking of, do we have room? It was pretty cramped before. And now we have another.
While, yes,
Ah,
probably not.
Ned doesn't need a
Oh,
chair,
yeah.
right? Ned can be on the floor, right? Right,
You can
Ned?
sit on your lap.
He's pretty much
I'm like
our size.
kind of just a suit of armor, so like
Could you
I do weigh a
fold?
couple 100 pounds.
Do you require oxygen to sustain yourself?
No.
We could
don't
stow you in an
think so.
extra
Fanny
dimensional
pack of
bag.
clothing! The Gucci
It-
bags!
It may not be the most comfortable, but if you do not require oxygen, then it should be sufficient.
The brand is top of the line.
Yeah, that shouldn't.
That's
That shouldn't cause too many issues.
Or if you really wanted, because you can't feel anything, you could go into the bag of colding.
That's true.
Nice and
There's
chilly.
booze in there.
Mm-hmm. Drink a couple of cold ones.
Exactly. I mean,
True.
save a couple.
Okay,
but-
okay, I'm here for that.
Good for you.
We could also ask Axel to teleport himself when he is fully rested.
Could.
That'll still cause the problem at a later time.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as I'm only teleporting like once a day, like I should be fine.
the
And
only
Alexander is gonna pop in as well. Actually, this brings up a pretty deep point. I think I'm going to stay here for the time being.
Right. Right. You should heal. You should stay here and get better.
It's no, I've healed pretty quickly thanks to the medical professionals here, but I was on kind of the verge of death for like 2 months there. And he's wearing like kind of like drapey clothing, but like he'll like roll up his sleeves and like kind of lift up his shirt a little bit. It is like twig. It is almost like kind of like puppy, where you can see he's got like a little bit of a food belly, because his body hasn't had time to actually like catch back up with his metabolism. But with me staying here, I could give the helm of teleportation to Axel, which would allow him to teleport more frequently.
Oh. True. That would be helpful, probably. And as much as I hate to admit it, but we should leave behind anyone who isn't going to be doing any fighting. As much fun as Brad is, I think Brad should stay behind.
What? Please. I'm like great at fight. And like, if I'm not there, then who's gonna like capture all of your events?
Brad, darling, Brad, just come try to hit me.
I feel like we already did this, and I feel
No,
like
one more time.
Well,
Just
that
come
was
here.
that was me.
I volunteer.
though, and
Come here.
There's not a lot of people. That can hit.
You're not directly. You're trying to hit them.
Try to hit me.
all right. Here we go. Just pure strength, or can I like
Whatever
do
you
my
want.
full?
Can I do martial arts?
He pulls out his phone and he like taps in a couple of quick inputs, and you see some like circles of energy like go around his arms. Okay.
Alright.
He's gonna try to hit Octavia. Oh, those are so shitty rolls. Ugh. He powered himself up and everything, and he still rolls a 15.
Hell no.
There's some force and there is some energy behind it, but he like slips as he's about to throw the punch. And it like whiffs to the side, but you see this like kind of like force impact that like follows through. If his fist would have landed, it would have like pushed you back.
Feloy thinks for a minute.
It's okay, buddy.
Why don't we, rather than attempting to hit a living entity, why don't we actually get a measure of your power with something not living? And he creates like a training dummy.
Great
That
idea.
like Brad can just punch, and we can actually see how powerful he is.
Yeah. So Brad will like walk up, he like gets himself like reactivated.
I'll pump her.
and throws a better punch this time. Kind of hits the dummy square on. And while it doesn't do a whole bunch of damage, you watch the dummy get like pushed back about 15 feet. Kind of repositioning it. And then you look where the dummy went, and then you look where Brad is, and Brad has like not standing where he was, and he is on the other side of the dummy. He like hits it again, and it bounces back in the other direction. Feloy, you notice that like every time before he does something, he has like his phone in one hand, and he is like typing inputs into the phone before he does anything.
I mean, he's not that impressive.
Is this just because Feloy's curious? Is this like spell casting?
It is
Kind of.
in a way.
As in, can I counterspell this?
Yeah.
And I think, like, out of curiosity, because Feloy hasn't used a phone. I don't think they needed that technology. But
You were the phone.
yeah, they had other means of communicating. So he just gets out his little tablet, and he tries to counterspell one time when he does it.
Yeah, you like counterspell what his punch or his disappear.
Probably the punch.
You like counterspell, and he like hits it, and he goes.
Now this effect, I cast it at lowest level. This was 3rd level or lower.
Mhm.
Okay. Mr. Jenkins, can you muster any magic more powerful than that?
Yeah, but I haven't like figured out like the combat stuff that's higher. I could do like a
Go ahead
whole
and-
lot of like. I
Go
can
ahead
like
and show me the strongest thing you can do, whether it be combat relevant or not.
What is the strongest thing that he could do?
Feloy's gonna put Brad in his place one way or another. Like, if he is like, if he's coming at us as like a level 7, like spellcaster or something, Feloy's gonna be like, okay, I'm sending you to the maze. I just want you to fathom how much more powerful that is. It will not harm you, but it is
You're going
way
to the maze,
over
kiddo.
your head. Yeah.
Like, you're going to the maze.
Alternatively, if he's like 14th level somehow, then we'll be like, okay.
He is going to. Would he have the ability to cast that? Probably not yet. He's still figuring things out.
Have a spellcaster as well.
You could always roll a
God, I hope
D100
so.
to see if it works.
He's a wild magic sorcerer.
But that the spell that I'm thinking of, that would be like one of the only that would be like his highest spell that he at his full potential. I don't think he's there yet.
Needs more potential.
I also just want to figure out, like, can anyone pick up this phone and use it? Is this just like a magic item he's attuned to? Like, hopefully in seeing this I can ascertain some details.
Sorry, looking through spells to figure out one that makes sense.
Yeah. No, you're good. I kind of put you on the spot. But I also kind of didn't know if you had an idea of what it would be.
I will. Okay, so I have an original idea. It is not that interesting.
Okay.
But I think that's. I'm gonna go with my first idea because this
It
makes
doesn't have to
sense
be
for
interesting as long as it's the right power.
his build. So he will like. Anyone got anything like interesting on them?
Like what?
Would you like me to create something interesting?
No. It's got to be like something you found or like.
Literally
Februm, your
any-
eye thing. Can I touch that?
I'm sorry.
I want to
This one or this one?
We- I
Yeah,
have
The
4 currently.
the middle one.
Just pick one. Pick
Just
one.
pick one.
Pick
Pick
one.
one,
Pick
Dave.
one, babe.
Pick one.
That middle one.
Sure. What are you planning?
Sweet, thanks. He like walks
Um,
up and he's gonna
What are you
like kind of
planning?
like
Sweet,
Be
fist bump
careful
you.
with it. There's stardust in there.
And he releases Lily.
Oh my god, no.
And he is going to cast Legend Lore on
Okay.
the eye.
That's.
Uh,
Wait, what? What does that do? I know what Legend Lore does, but I'm wondering what this does.
Level. Oh God. What?
Yeah, Legend Lore tells you like anything about this.
What's he getting out of this?
First of all, he like you see like the culmination of magical energy. It starts in this device, like rips through his body and goes in or slash around the eye. And you just see like his eyes go like white for a second. He goes and like I see the unfolding of several universes over. Time has unfolded upon itself.
The prophecy
Oh,
is
Lord.
true.
The prophecy is true. He shall rise, they shall fall. It'll all rain fire. It's like
Good?
he like pulls back and he's like, "Whoa."
What
What
you doing there?
did I feel anything through that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. What did you?
Just happened.
Do you know what you like? What that is?
Family heirloom.
That's
I know
dark,
it's rather.
dude.
I know it's rather old.
Dark, dude.
Can't say.
Yeah,
my
we're like talking like pre my era old.
Oh.
Like potentially other universe old.
Whoa!
Oh.
That's pretty cool.
That's
Your family's old as hell.
that's awesome. I don't.
That's kind of somewhat
I-
troubling.
I don't.
Is this?
No.
Did you
So,
see if it
like-
was created by a specific entity?
So like your family has owned it for like the last like couple hundred years, like since
Sure,
the devouring and
yes.
stuff. Passed from person to person. You have mainly been using it for like genetic modifications, and other inner body things. You know, like you can't really genetically modify other people. That's like more of a programmer thing. But like it allows you to manipulate your own biology in a really weird way.
I mean, you can tell that looking at Februm, though.
Do
Well,
you?
yeah, that's like the whole family thing.
I mean, like, so I only like scratched the surface, but that's. I'm like not trying to over exaggerate when I say like the secrets of the universe are in that thing.
Oh.
I mean, like locked away. Like you're probably it's gonna be really hard to find. He like looks around. Okay, so this might be like kind of dumb. But does someone want to give me a shard?
You're right,
What?
Brad. That does sound dumb.
You are going to have to explain yourself.
Yeah, this isn't.
Way
We
before
can't
we hand
afford
you
for you to
Let's
be.
let's figure out what we're doing this
I
time.
forgive
first.
You cannot be
Octavia
coy
look
about
like-
this.
That says, and you call me the dumb one.
Yes.
One person's
I didn't
dumbness
even
is not
say
exempt
anything.
in others.
I know what you were going to say, and it's still true.
Purple.
So like that might be like your third eye, but I have like a feeling that it was like somebody else's like one eye.
Gross.
Like,
And maybe not
Gnarly.
somebody, maybe like a cosmic being.
Mm.
watch all
Whoa.
this time. You've had the eye of the one true God in your forehead.
I was gonna say it, but
I'm like, hey, I want my eye back, and you were like, okay.
Um,
I don't like the look that you're giving me after she said that.
I mean, she's not joking, right?
I was joking. Am I right?
More or less.
Bad.
I mean, like it's been like modified and people have like tinkered with it, but
Abram, what
you
the
go
fuck?
back you go back like
I didn't know.
10 millennia and
so you wish to touch one of the shards to see if it has the same origin as this eye?
yeah. I think it might fry my brain though.
I agree that you are in
Fefram
jeopardy of
slowly puts
your
the
brain being
shard
fried.
back in his pocket.
I think if
Oh
you
my
think
God.
that it's
If
that, then perhaps it just is, and we don't need to test that theory. You know, we can just ask it when we get to it.
perhaps if we could cast a more powerful spell that protects the mind, you might be able to withstand that.
Yeah, I can't do that one.
Oh, I also can't do that one. And I know it's relative power.
Yeah, you should like probably be really careful with that thing.
It's, this only once makes me want to search more, but I will keep that in mind.
Okay, now I have checked and Mind Blank is a bard spell
Zephyr.
of only one level higher than you can cast. Zephyr, you are capable of programming. Perhaps you could attempt to cast this spell to protect one's mind.
I can sure try.
Oh yeah, Zephyr. You can do it. Probably.
Right now.
I don't
I
know.
can do it. Probably.
I believe in you, probably.
Probably is good enough for me.
Yeah. I was about
I
to
just
say
think-
that too.
Honestly, that's kind of good enough for me. I don't think this is necessary. And just ask it when we get to it.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth all the risk at the moment. I think we have a lot.
Besides, we need
that we're
Zephyr
dealing
to
with
do
already.
his DJ thing, and if this like fries his brain already
Yeah.
more than it is, might be a problem.
Now hold on.
Plus,
You
I
almost
mean,
said something nice right there.
Almost.
Well, I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
plus, I mean, we'll be hopefully meeting up with my mother soon. So we'll see what she knows about it first.
Is she gonna like meet us there, or?
I have the stone still, so hopefully my father and Urdusk can follow her from there.
Okay.
My only concern in this endeavor is that if the eye is potentially dangerous, it may be important to understand its danger to fragmented residents.
Well, Lily's been in there for a minute, so whatever damage is done.
It's too late. Just forget it. That is not typically how ailments of the mind
If it was bad,
work.
it would have done something by now.
Typically, you may be familiar with
Bad, it would've
something called the
did-
devouring, which corrupts slowly and over time, in which case, exposure to it on a brief scale may not be as bad as long-term exposure.
Touche.
Well, either way, we weren't planning on keeping her in there for very long, so
Right.
we should even more of a reason to get her out of there.
Cool. So like, was that enough for y'all? I like.
Oh, yes.
had-
The next part of your test, and he types into his tablet, and he types the command prompt to show the brief dimensions and the layout of a new maze in the style of Mechanus, and sends Brad there.
Brad just. He's like, what?
Guys, I think Feloy may be my
Did we-
favorite addition to the team.
Where did he go?
Where did you send
Where'd you
him?
send him?
Oh, I sent him to the same place as that one Draco Lich. Well, relatively.
I
It's
thought
the
we were
same
just gonna
demi-plane, but it's a different layout.
I thought we were just gonna see if he could take a hit.
That
Oh,
was my
no.
intention.
Oh,
This-
I was gonna volunteer for that too.
We need not inflict acts of violence on Mr. Jenkins in order to impress upon him how much more powerful you are.
We don't.
I thought
Fair enough.
we were trying to see how powerful he was.
I'm sorry. Theoretically, could
show
any of
him how
us escape
powerful-
that fairly easily?
Probably
Mr. Jenkins is an entity that may not understand the picture. If he is he is relatively powerful, but he's not at our level, and I feel he should know that before making further decisions.
Do we need to like?
But what I'm
Check
saying
on
is we
him?
didn't know how powerful he was.
He'll come back.
Yes,
soon.
and
So
now
were
we
trying to
do.
Find out.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Sight out of
Okay.
mind.
Well, we
We
can
just-
also discuss if you have any, if you'd like
Well,
to bring
I-
him or not.
Either way, I don't think we should bring him because his skills are much more seem to be much more outside of
That.
combat.
This is
What else?
true.
Yeah.
I was already going to say that.
Also,
I mean,
I
he
don't like-
blatantly missed when trying to hit me.
And he could always train here in the meantime.
Join us
I-
on the next one.
That's true.
About this time, out of more pure luck than anything else, Brad's like, I found it!
Well done, Mr. Jenkins.
Oh.
I did it! I was getting a little nervous there for a while. It was real dark, and like there was like all these different hallways. That was weird.
Send him to the back rooms.
Grooves.
There was this
Oh
weird.
my god.
There was this
A
weird
maze is-
noodly thing chasing after me.
A maze is ineffective if it
So
looks
much
different in different
So much-
locations.
So much.
Part of the mystery comes from the monotony of the surrounding area.
I just kept turning left.
Tried and true method.
Of course.
Well, that does work sometimes, but
So he
I
is wise.
should note that the maze doesn't remain stationary while you are present in it.
God, it is.
I did make a couple of like loops there at one point, so like that does make sense.
Anywho,
Well done, Brad.
thank you for your
Thank
display,
you.
Mr. Jenkins.
Um,
Of course.
either way, we've all agreed that you are probably more help here than out in the heat of battle.
I mean, like yeah, totally. Like, and you know, like I've got this like whole party to like plan. So
Well,
Because
Brad,
we
you
don't
can
think
also-
yeah, I should probably just like stay here.
can
you can train to
defend-
fight.
No,
together.
it's like all good. Like yeah, like Philo, you said like alchemy supplies was gonna be like over this way, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
I've
like
made you an appointment with a Modron to oversee
cool,
you.
cool. I'm gonna go like chat with that guy.
And I didn't
Yeah,
mean to
check
hurt your
in
feelings.
before you like leave. No, it's like all good. Like
My feelings are great.
Bard is built.
Never better.
yeah, like I like fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
I really just meant to say you seem more out of combat.
No, I got you, bro. Like
Brad,
I'm
darling.
just gonna go make some like
Brad,
some,
darling.
like, spirits over here.
We would be so sad if anything were to happen to you. Who else would film the rest of our adventures after this one?
Yeah, you're just gonna have to like you're gonna have to take some like
Send me some
selfies
clips,
and some
yeah.
like videos so I can add them into the edit later.
We'll take care of it, love. Thank
Yeah,
you.
sweet.
There's plenty of
definitely-
resources here.
I'm just gonna
Practice combat while.
It's okay. I'm just gonna.
But
He
you
like
guys never stirred my feelings like that.
toddles off.
You never whine, Zephyr.
He like
One of your only good traits.
Quietly,
like-
he says
he, like-
quietly.
he like goes to kick a rock on the way out, but it's like much deeper into the ground than he thought it was, and he like stubs his toe. It's like, oh, okay.
Aw.
Octavia,
can I
like,
go on swim?
Octavia leads over to Alessander and she's like, "You will keep an eye on him, correct?"
I'll
Can I go,
run him
can I
through
go
some
over to him?
training and everything. It'll be okay.
Thank you.
Good.
Yeah, he's like getting to like the edge of the clearing. But Woody, if you
Okay.
want to run after him, you can.
Yeah, I'm gonna run after him. I'm gonna be like, Brad, wait.
Oh, Winnie, yeah, what's up?
Winnie, please don't say it.
You can come with us if you want. No, just
We'll make room for you.
we'll make room.
I'll kick
Uh,
Zephyr out. It'll
Bag
be
of
fine.
holding?
You know, I was thinking if you really wanted to, do more like combat stuff, I could ask Warren to show you some moves. And also that force thing you did was really cool. I think that would be very helpful later on when we go to get the scary fire shard from my uncle. So
Yeah. I'm gonna like keep working on it, like kind of like finding my rhythm with like the like spatial manipulation kind of stuff. So
yeah, and you know we're gonna have to throw a really big party when we get all the shards and change the whole world and everything. So
oh, I mean, yeah, of course. So like we might as well like get that planned now. Yeah.
she kind of she looks up and she's like, well, thank you for being with us thus far and helping us with all this stuff. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, well, like, please, of course, like, it's the least I could do. Like, you like unpetrified me and stuff. So like, here, let me share my number with your like chat. Yeah, he like swipe up on his phone.
Cool.
New contact, Brad Jenkins.
Yeah. Yeah, they exchange numbers.
We all
It's
get
just
the
like,
notification that
yeah.
Brad Jenkins joined the chat.
No.
It's a green bubble in the chat.
Oh.
Aw.
You hear
No.
like
Brad
the
Jenkins
bang.
is
bubble.
You hear
online.
bang from the clearing, like, oh.
He joins and she goes to leave and she turns back around and she's like,
Oh, and please take care of my mom and everything while we're gone. You know, he's probably gonna be traveling with us, and she's kind of loosey goosey, and I think you'd be good at entertaining her. So
Oh yeah, we're gonna have like a great time. It's gonna be all good.
thanks, Brad.
and she'll stand on her toes and give him a kiss on the cheek. And she'll be like,
He immediately like looks to Zephyr and is like, "It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me."
It was
Who is
it was a
vanishes.
friendly kiss. It was not anything romantic in any way.
All right, time to go.
Hi, Brad.
If
I'll,
staring daggers were a spell, I'd be casting it.
Cloud of daggers
Yeah.
in his face. No.
Who with the face?
Brad.
I did forget in light of the interesting legend lore thing, but did we see anything interesting when he cast legend lore with his like phone or with him?
His
Was
eyes
it
went white.
perceivable? Yeah.
So has anyone else seen like the Irregulars High School?
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
I've heard of it, I haven't seen it yet.
I was like, his magic looks very similar to that, where he is like inputting on a device and the device is channeling magic around him into his body.
Okay.
It's his dual disc. He's a Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds character.
There you go.
Yeah, do that.
Please.
Dual disc.
But I would say Feloy.
So is this more
Zephyr.
akin to a spell focus or a magic item?
It is probably more similar to a spell focus.
Okay.
But the magical energy isn't necessarily coming from Brad. This would have been like peak technology of the old civilization that gives people who don't have a talent for magic another way to compete
This
on
is-
a same scale.
You can purchase sorcery then.
Yeah, and it with enough practice and with enough memorization of your commands and everything, like you can become a decent sorcerer as long as you have this device.
Gotcha.
You too can look like me.
Gotcha.
It's partly like one of those things like if you weren't born with magic and you didn't have the time, money, or education to study it, you could purchase one of these devices and you could use first, second, and like maybe third level stuff on a daily basis
Gotcha.
for like the average citizen.
Nice.
For an average monthly plan.
Of course,
$10.99.
like there's a subscription.
Yeah, you have to pay for
Apple.
the phone plan.
Mm-hmm.
The magic is Wi-Fi.
Brad
Get higher
texted into the
circles for
group
a
chat
lower
after
rate.
all that. Guys, I think I have a chance.
Oh my god.
He does not,
I know.
That's funny though.
but he does toddle off.
Hi, Bled.
You get the impression, Feloy, with your previous question, that anyone could probably pick this up. It takes a good amount of time to get used to using it.
Yeah.
Thus why he is, for the rest of the party, he was not able to do these kinds of magic even a couple of days ago.
Cool.
Improving pretty quickly, but still needs some work.
All right.
I believe that's our party then, because Iris and Axel are obviously coming with us.
Yeah.
Iris, Axel, Ned.
We don't have to put Ned in the bag.
Dream team.
The dream team.
And Axel's not to teleport.
Yeah, that's good. I was a little worried about the teleport because like there
Yeah,
is
I
the
didn't really want to leave you
there's the
behind
possibility
after-
of like a mishap, and then like I end up like
Yeah.
hundreds of miles away from where I need to be on foot by myself in the waste.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
ideal.
Not
that would
ideal.
be bad.
So, I guess we plan to move out first thing in the morning. As soon
Yeah.
as we hear back from your mom, Winnie.
From your mom.
Got him.
Yeah. I hope everything's okay.
I hope
I have a bad
it is
feeling.
not what our initial thoughts are. I hope that it is Zephyr's sister is just like has a shard now. That
She's
would be
got it.
convenient.
We could call her.
You
Could
could always
see.
try.
Would you like to call her?
Yeah,
I
have
would
you tried
love-
scrying? Like
Scry.
this entire time she's been gone?
Oh, I think
I
I can do
can't.
that. Maybe. I might be thinking of somebody else. Let me see.
People
Somebody can.
among you can scry for you.
Yeah, I can do that. I can do that.
I think
I
think
forgot
she
that
did
in
this
building.
before.
Has this,
So we've
have we
did like
attempted
a
have.
You've tried.
whole night.
Okay.
tried.
alright,
Unsuccessfully.
Sure.
You are aware that with previous experiences, it has been difficult to contact Sai, and I think you've only tried to scry once, and you weren't able to get through.
We could try again and just like all hype up Winnie with magic.
Light me up.
Go, go, go,
Light
go.
me up.
Bardic.
Go, go, go.
He just says the words Bardic and points at Winnie.
Arctic.
Nothing
Bardic.
happens, but I said
Bardic.
Bardic.
You have my firm emotional support.
Thank you, Octavia.
You're welcome.
I can do guidance. I forgot I had guidance.
That's like my favorite thing too, is like forgetting spells. And you're like, oh yeah, I forgot I could do that.
Because it's not a wizard spell.
I have that one sketch from Julia's stove when he like look in the corner and she's like, I forgot that I had see invisibility. She's like, wow, can anyone else see this? Because I can't. And then she's like, oh wait, yes I can.
Oh wait,
Oh,
that
just
thing
kidding.
that I do.
That. Haha. I can do that. It's crazy.
Pat Winnie on the back, give her Bardic, possibly guidance.
I don't think it
Does
depends
anyone
on
else have
her
any-
ability to cast
Emotional
a spell,
support.
though, does it?
It's a
Uh.
dice roll.
Winnie,
Not
are you gonna cast scrying?
Do you have any memorabilia from her, Zephyr?
Oh yeah, I've got the little like blue band around my waist that she gave me.
That would help.
So I kind of take it off and hand it to Winnie.
Alrighty.
We're gonna give this a go. So, what is all the shit that I get to add to this roll?
Well, no.
Bardic
First of
is a
all,
D-
Well, typically you don't roll. I'm just if
Yeah.
you have to make a check.
Oh, I
Uh,
see. I see.
I'm like the first thing I'm gonna need you to do is roll a D100.
Oh.
Mm.
Or. Okay.
So when are we gonna come across the animal constructs? They're souls of human children.
gosh.
What's this
That's not a
pizzeria
bad
doing
idea.
in the middle of the way?
It's a
I
ruined
literally-
city. The only thing that's
Superstar.
left is a pizzeria.
We should camp here tonight, guys.
We should camp here.
Should.
We should spend the next week here. I mean,
It still has to be
seems
four.
good.
At least 5
We'll just
days.
we'll rest here
Probably
tonight.
only 5 nights.
We'll come back for an
Yeah.
extra one
We should
later.
spend the next
Maybe
6
a
hours
6
here.
if we're feeling spicy. That's an 83.
Ooh.
83.
Mhm.
Okay. You sit down with I think you have a mirror for scrying. I don't know what you formed out of the gold that you spent.
I think it is.
Or probably, yeah, you kind of like sit down with this mirror in front of you. Your eyes go cloudy, and you feel your presence kind of pull out of you. Oh, wait, here's the thing. We're gonna retroactive for a second because y'all would know this because of the spell. Winnie, you have to step out of the grove to cast the spell.
Okay.
Because the grove is
Oh, it's not the
technically
same plane of
not
existence.
on. Yeah, it's not the same plane of existence.
I feel like we all go with
Do-
her. Right?
Oh, yeah.
We
I
can
mean, we
choose
need,
Yeah.
to take
Yeah.
we need to take at least 2 shards.
Right.
Which, like, I mean, Feloy knows that, like, the first, like, 20, 30 feet out of the grove, like, it just feels like you're walking out of a forest. But the farther you get away, the more the demiplane kind of just, like, completely disappears behind you. And it will, like, kind of change positioning. So you
Should we
just
tie
get to
a
the edge of
rope
the...
around Winnie's waist and have one person still in the grove.
I have a
Octavia and
compass.
Alexander just kind of holding onto the rope, like, what?
loosely, like, not even,
Yeah.
like, gripping it tightly or anything.
If it goes tight, pull.
Sure thing, Zephyr.
Certainly.
So, Winnie,
Yeah.
you are out in the waste doing the scry. You feel your consciousness pulled from your body up into the air and racing through the sky. And like last time, you feel yourself hit the bubble. This wall that kind of like keeps you from going through. You kind of glance around, feeling this like wall with just the presence of your consciousness, and you find the smallest little crack that you're able to slip through, and you see Sai in the waste, it looks like. She seems to be pacing back and forth, obviously pissed off, and mumbling to herself. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Ooh, okay.
And this is where all of your additional things can come in handy.
Yeah, I think you have a D10 for me.
You get a
And a
D10, a
D4.
D4 that you can use whenever you want. We'll kind of ixnay the time restraints on them. You just get one of each.
I don't even know if I'll need it for this. 25.
25.
Another
Yeah.
5. Flash of genius.
I guess that works.
30.
Yeah.
A 30? Cool.
Sure. Thanks, Grandpa.
Thanks, Pops.
You're doing great, kid.
I want to keep it for now, so we'll do it at 30. But does Flash of Genius say when you see someone make an ability check or something?
Says when you or another creature you can see within 30 feet of you makes an ability check or saving
Makes an
throw.
ability check. Okay, so it's one
Yeah.
of those like funky.
You can
like,
see
in
her,
slash
and
out
she's
of-
making an ability check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She seems a little confused, so I'm just like, you got this.
Winnie,
Can I tell when
you.
Bard appears?
I was just gonna say that like you get one of
Oh.
one of each for the scry. Um. So, Winnie, you are watching Sai pace and kind of be like pissed off, and you're taken back for a moment, but you blink, and she seems to like change locations quickly. And you're confused because it looks like a teleport for a second, which you're not sure if that was something that Sai could do.
Mm-hmm.
But you keep watching for a little bit, and after about another like 45 seconds to a minute, Sai, you blink, Sai reappears in the same spot that she did the last time.
Mm.
And as you kind of watch this, you see that Sai's, you like pay attention to what she's like grumbling about, her movement specifically. She's stuck in a loop.
Whoa.
And this 1 minute interval, she is just like pacing around pissed off, and then she starts over, and then she paces around pissed off, and she starts over.
Would
Oh shit. Can I tell is there any way I can tell why it's happened? Or do I have can I get an idea of where she's at?
Go ahead and make me another perception check as you kind of like try to like look around your surroundings.
Okay, I'm gonna add one of the rolls to that. It's not bad, but just in case. What was it? A D6?
You got a D10 and a D4.
Oh, a D10 and a D4. Okay.
Mhm.
I'll roll the D4. I have it right there. Okay. If I can get it out of the blur. Blur.
Hello.
Here.
We'll say you're pretty quiet, Sam.
It's because the mic's away from my mouth. Boop. There we go. Is that better?
Yes.
much.
Yeah. I just didn't want to be talking myself in it while I was trying to get the dice. Boop. Ah, it bounced out. Oh, that's too bad. It's a 4 too. Ah. Boop. 23.
23. You kind of strain your perception with the scry being kind of contained to Sai herself. You have to extend your consciousness a bit to get any aspects of the surrounding area. And as you kind of peek through this almost shadowy fog, you first see the barrier of this bubble. This area that Sai seems to be trapped in is kind of a clear, almost like a plastic film that just kind of hangs in the air. And as you push past that, you see several other smaller pockets of these very similar bubbles where you see a handful of other creatures. There's some tumbleweeds in some of these pockets. Everything doing the same thing, where it just loops. There are some larger, almost monstrous creatures stuck in another bubble that aren't moving at all. And as the spell begins to fade, as you look around, you feel this wave of magical energy. As you look behind you, as a spout of pure time energy just
Whoa.
rockets into the sky,
Whoa.
and you were pulled back to your body.
Oof.
Well, considering
Whoa.
you didn't come back immediately is a good sign.
Kinda. I found her.
Is she alive?
She is alive.
Score.
She is like stuck in some sort of time loop. She was in this space with like where there's a
Mm.
bunch of other
Time pool?
spaces. It must have been. I'm assuming it would have been multiple time pools.
Does that sound like the time pools, Feloy?
It was like
Especially if there was any sudden burst of pure time that you may
that's
have seen.
exactly what there
Perhaps the
was.
guys
Oh, well, that's a-
time energy.
Well, yeah.
Yes, that's a
Oh, of course,
that's a
yeah.
sure that's a sure
Awesome.
sign then. That's the most likely place in that case.
Well,
Well, so if
guess that adds a stop regardless.
yeah, I mean, if the shard loses its. Sorry.
That's
if,
horrible.
if the shard loses its magical properties in the location, and we have to head that way anyway, then we kill a bird with one stone and use that same stone to resurrect two birds.
You know, the more you say it, the stupider it gets.
This metaphor is getting out of hand.
Yes, your
Also,
extent-
Don't worry.
think
Your
Size
extended
all of a sudden.
metaphor would actually be appropriate, I suppose, though it's a bit contrived.
What if we
So-
grab the stone and then use that to kill the two birds?
Well, we're not
We can-
killing them.
We don't
We
want to
can
kill
workshop
either of
it.
the birds.
Well, yeah, yes.
We'll figure it out.
Yes.
You know, there was a group who recommended saying feed two birds with one scone.
I think scones are probably large enough for two or more birds as is.
Exactly.
Sounds like a good.
If you're only
Substitute?
if you're feeding two birds with one scone, that's a lot of bread to still go around.
It is quite a lot. If they're
We find-
songbirds,
That
Maybe,
bread
although
maybe
if
we can
they're
find
actually-
some.
if they're larger
Not good for
birds, it would have
birds.
to be a meat scone.
Maybe we
Zephyr,
can
why
find
couldn't
more
you have made
birds to feed with
scones?
this
Now I'm
one
hungry
stone.
again.
I mean, I can still go bake some if you want. I've got
No.
some leftover.
Okay.
Sounds like we might need some for the journey if we're feeding birds.
It's
We
it
probably
sounds
need
like
to go.
You have to go boxes.
Octavia standing in the background, like next to Alessander, like pinching the bridge of her
Boxes.
nose, just like
I can. Well, I can only conjure them for a minute. I can make
Everybody eat
illusory
as fast as
boxes.
you can.
I can make holographic scones.
My favorite.
Have a box.
Could you make like
My
to-go
favorite.
boxes? I'll make the stones tonight while we have some downtime and.
To which I do have a question. Has anyone tasted the food?
Taste it.
Nope.
I feel like Zephyr would have while he was cooking, to like,
To-
make sure it's good,
Winnie would have taken a
Uh,
munch when it was done.
to
Do we
make
not-
sure it's like 21 roll worthy.
Just to be clear, this is charisma cooking. This is not substantive cooking.
So I'm sure many of you remember a very specific Pokemon episode in which Mr. Mime competes with what is it, Snivel?
Snively?
Snively, yeah. And you know how like Mr. Mime's food looks so good. It is like prepared perfectly, and it doesn't really taste like anything.
It's like Poseidon and SpongeBob.
It
This is
looks-
21.
looks so good.
It does
It-
look great.
This is the best show food that I think any of you have seen.
Oh.
It tastes pretty bland.
Zephyr's
It's-
heart's gonna break.
Display food.
I love this.
It's
This is really
Nice.
good. What did you use to make this?
It's just like
Oh
my
my
breakfast.
Well, I didn't have
God.
any time, so I had to kind of work around it. But
Tastes like just like my favorite oatmeal.
That's an indicator right there.
Yeah,
is
then
that-
you know you fucked
How do you
up.
like your oatmeal? Oh, totally plain. Oh.
No.
I make it in a pot. I maybe add some cinnamon.
If I'm feeling spicy.
it
A
has
little
slight
pinch.
taste of cinnamon. Yeah, just a tiny one.
Yes, yeah.
And you
I think it
did
tastes great.
choose charisma when cooking.
I will say,
I think that-
she probably tried it right when it came out with like her brother, so she was probably like, hump. She just kind of like takes a bite and like looks at her brother.
It's like not. It's
And then,
not bad. It's not
Yeah.
like unedible. It is
Right?
just
It's
like
very boring tasting.
It's just confusing.
yeah, no. For how amazing it looks, it just doesn't. The taste doesn't level out there.
It's
This
too
is-
hyped up.
It's like
It
only
looks
this is only
too
gonna
good.
hit for a few people, but it's like DP dough tater tots.
Oh,
If
Oh,
it
yeah.
looked bad,
Oh yeah.
then you would be very impressed by the
If that's anything like school tater tots, it's like
No,
No,
school
it's the
tater tots were at
opposite.
least a little bit oily. These are
Yeah.
Or
nothing.
at least edible.
these are nothing. Okay.
they're nothing.
They've been like baked and covered with fake sauces that are supposed to taste like things, but don't.
They taste like nothing.
Ew.
But you were making me want DP dough.
If anyone says they would like to take psychic damage,
Well,
don't know
Al
if
said
anyone
it
would
tastes
say
like his
anything.
Yeah,
oatmeal.
Al said it was great.
Al said it was fantastic.
Zephyr's choosing
Just
not to hear
tastes
that last part.
fantastic.
I think
Yeah,
everyone else
Octavia-
is just kind of like.
Mm.
I probably Alexander will be like, Zephyr, the food looks immaculate.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
No,
It's beautiful.
it's one of those meals where they're like, "Oh, it looks fantastic," and then they start eating, and then no one
It's
speaks.
just quiet.
Absolutely not. Octavia like takes one bite and then she kind of like, well, I actually kind of wanted to go for a walk. So I I've staring, at the engine of cars all day and I really need to
Oh,
for
a
a
walk,
walk.
you say? I might join you.
Oh, well, I would love that. Well, thank you very much for the
Go lie
feast.
down.
Zephyr,
And-
this has been amazing.
Yes. Well, darling, shall we? She'll like offer her
Of course,
hand.
of course.
Can I make an insight check?
Against their deceptions, yeah.
Against our
You can
deceptions,
try.
hell yeah.
Oh no.
I'm gonna tell you right now that you're losing because I just rolled a 20.
That's a nat 20.
I rolled a nat 20. What's your insight?
It's not your deception.
Yeah, it's not your deception, but
Aw.
Actually, my deception's not that good.
Don't.
don't.
don't give him hope.
Just don't.
Don't give him hope.
Your
Out
IRL
of
deception
curiosity,
is
I
not
gotta
as good.
know.
What a total did you get?
What's your total insight?
21.
Yeah, I beat you at a 23.
Oh, close.
Yeah, my deception's not
Oh,
fantastic. I'm better at performance and
Same.
persuasion.
Anyway,
They're gone.
yeah.
they head out. Anyone else doing anything this evening? / what is the plan? Have y'all
Leave early.
leave early?
Leave early.
Mhm.
Check in with
Wait for.
Crookton beforehand.
I was gonna say
Mhm.
leave Crookton as much time as she needs, and then leave.
Yeah. People head to bed.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Febrim's gonna like try to go to bed, but he's gonna like, not be able to sleep for a little bit. He's gonna kind of get up for a moment, and just to like satisfy his own curiosity for now. Can I ritual cast Identify on the eye to see if anything new pops up?
Sure.
So you're casting Identify.
Hit it. Stop.
Identify.
Identify?
It's 2 eyes,
2 eyes?
but there's only one.
Third
Oh,
eye in identify.
So you identify it. Doesn't really reveal anything that you weren't expecting it to. It's got this like,
powerful magic, but
it's got like language processing. It's got kind of seed knowledge that helps you understand things easier. You have the ability to manipulate your own biology to a certain extent. It helps with those modifications. But there is. I want to make sure I'm saying this correctly. I'm not spelling that right. There is a heavily modified version of Gentle Repose currently affecting the eye.
That keeps bodies alive longer.
slowly.
Not alive,
Oh.
it keeps them from decomposing.
That's what's
So you
protecting
can-
Lily.
So you can functionally resurrect them sooner. Or with less duration. It can be like more than
You can-
like 10 days, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But technically, if you act fast enough, you could Gentle Repose someone right after they die and then revivify them.
Yeah.
Because it just puts a halt on the time limit.
And they also
Usually.
can't become undead.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I suppose I shouldn't keep prying until that's taken care of.
As you go to bed, though, you get this little tingling sensation from your pocket.
Reaches into pocket.
Comes in contact with Fey Shard. I believe that's the one you have, right?
Yes.
And it just like glows faintly for a moment, kind of pulses a couple of times.
Do I sense anything specific with the blinking? Maybe it's like Morse code or something, or like something kind of basic communication.
Make an insight check.
That's a nat 1.
Ooh.
You
Cool.
kind of hold on to it for a moment, and the blinking doesn't last long.
Mm.
Feels warm to the touch, but after a couple of moments, it just fades away.
Keep that in mind.
Alrighty then. People go to bed. People wake up. It is the AM. Crookton is already at your camp, probably sitting there with Feloy, waiting for the rest of the party to join in. Feloy, she looks exhausted. The rest of you kind of wake up slowly.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Okay. I don't know the exact nature of their relationship, but I'm not sure. Would it be unprofessional for him to give her like a shoulder rub? Or is she like chill enough for that?
I think that is entirely dependent on Feloy's perception.
I was gonna say Feloy wouldn't just initiate it, but if she asked him to, he would be like, "Oh, sure, I guess."
I don't know if she'd ever ask for it.
Well, then maybe he probably hasn't seen her tired like this very much, if ever.
Mm-hmm.
And his limited knowledge of human interaction would indicate that tension is stored in your shoulders. Would that be helpful, or is that...
Oh, yes. That would be lovely. Thank you.
So yeah, he's doing it very professionally, but he wants to help.
Aw.
Mhm.
He's just a little guy.
Just
Helpful little
trying.
guy.
He's just trying to be a guy.
I like it. Yeah, they all get up and gather around Crookton. Did you
Good.
find anything? Not to get to business, but to get to business, we gotta leave soon.
Yes and no. Wasn't able to get too much information. The entire area is cloaked from divination. It is nearly impossible to create a scrying sensor within 1,000 feet of where I knew the constructed shard to be. That being said, with a bit of difficulty, some good old ingenuity, I can tell you that there is a whole camp there. There is not a small group, there's not an individual, there are dozens, maybe a couple hundred individuals that have set up a defense of sorts around the constructed shard.
Okay.
Whoa, that's a lot of people.
Who?
Unsure. I guess I'm not personally aware of too many groups in modern society. I don't keep up with world politics, you know.
And it's definitely like mortal, I guess, and not crazy. Or are they crazy? Do you not know?
Both?
Well, I hate to bring up the elephant in the room, but to me it just sounds like it could be the eclipse.
I would not be surprised.
Hearing anything like how much detail could you get?
The general layout, new structures that have been created. there was a symbol that I kept seeing. A dark orb surrounded by red flames.
The eclipse.
That's the eclipse.
That would be them.
Great.
So, I'm sure we can presume that the shard has been claimed.
By the eclipse.
And
Correct.
we're going to need a lot of power
Could
to
you-
get through.
Notate a map for us, perhaps, with these details that you ascertained?
Yes, I believe I could write down some of the landscaping. She'll like wave over, another one of her kind of appears out of like your peripheral vision. Bringing over like an already rolled and like packaged map.
That is already more than helpful.
Of course.
They didn't see you or anything, did they?
I didn't really think about that too much. There's the possibility.
That's worrisome. They can't get in here, can they?
Oh, no one can enter this domain without my permission.
Well, don't let them in if they come knocking.
Oh, of course. To be
Do you
perfectly
think-
honest, your
Oh, you go ahead.
to be perfectly honest, your party was the exception when it came to letting individuals that have varying levels of corruption. It's usually a pretty close zero tolerance policy when it comes to humanoids.
What about devils?
For corruption?
Demons. No, demons, like in general. How's the tolerance policy?
I believe the only way that a fiendish entity would be able to get into the domain is if they contacted me directly or snuck in with an individual that was allowed entrance.
Is man just sitting right there?
I think that is like sitting right next to you, like, hey.
Like legs
He's kind
crossed.
of.
Tink,
Um.
tink, tink, tink.
Well. Wondering.
It's a good
How
thing
good
we
the,
don't have to worry about that.
Yes.
And by the way, while we go off and acquire this shard, because I, confidence and all that, believe we will get it back. Is it alright if we leave some people here in your care?
Oh, of course. I kind of assumed it, I guess.
I am... What am I if I'm not courteous? Asking for permission is important.
I usually tend to lean towards the forgiveness aspect myself. Permission is always lovely.
It just
Ow.
depends on the situation.
Fortunately, I've already crafted an extensive list of programs that some of the Modron can run, so that they'll act more or less as if I were here.
Well,
And you'll all be back in a blink of an eye. Especially for me.
In your sense, yes.
Oh,
Probably
one
just-
more thing.
Ooh, yes.
Do you think this location will still function as a place of power?
Don't you love the? Is Max just gonna give you the answer, or is Max gonna roll for it?
I don't know what she knows.
Well, she'd just tell Feloy if she knew. My goodness.
Traveling in that vehicle for several days. Since the shard hasn't seemed to have moved, for as far as I can tell, it should still be able to support the casting of the spell.
And what would those probabilities stay mostly the same if we were to take a stop at the time pools anyway?
The only thing that I fear is if this group, I'm not completely sure why they're staying around that area. But once the shard leaves that location, it will probably bring the rest of the magic with it.
Oh, great.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were just waiting for us. I mean, they have to know that we're going after the shards, right?
Oh yeah, that's a real
At this
possibility.
point.
You'd think, considering how that what was her name? Rhina Raid. Yeah, that bitch.
Baby
How
Rutha.
great
Rutha?
like her extensive knowledge was of the city and of its inhabitants, and you'd think that she would have tabs out in the waste somehow, so it'd be foolish to assume we were not expected in some manner.
Yeah.
Well, no use tarrying any longer. I believe we have all the information we seek. I shall start the car.
Yep.
She
That's,
will kind of look at Alexander and then motion with her head and head back towards where they left the Tide Strider.
You get the car, you get everything packed up, everyone ready to go. Alexander will do the thing where he'll lean on your window edge as you're getting ready to pull out.
Yeah.
And he'll give you a kiss on the forehead first, and then yeah, he's smooth. He's gonna he takes this arm and he curls it around the back of your head and pulls you in.
Spicy.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of she has that moment where she's like, oh, that was cute. And then he goes in for the full one and she's like, oh shit. Because she's still not used to it at all.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, that was
I'll see you when you get back.
Yes. Definitely. She's lean up and give him another peck and she's like, yes, going now. Everyone sitting.
Nasty. No, I'm kidding.
Brody!
Ew!
Goodies!
Goodies!
Goodies, gross.
Just roasting them from the back seat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, her and
She's
Zephyr are like. I'm kidding. That's funny though.
yeah, she will get them out of there.
Mm-hmm. The Tide Strider rockets off into the waste, heading towards the constructed shard, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Al is pointing the way. And Feloy.
You've got... you got
Feloy's
Feloy and
probably-
Al are right there. It's shotgun and then that middle seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feloy has big middle
Feloy's-
seat energy.
I was gonna say Feloy's squished up in the middle. He's just sitting pleasantly oh, this tune is pleasant.
I love him. I love him so much. Yeah. And off they go.
And off they go, headed eastward. And I think that's probably where we're gonna end it for tonight. And
So
we'll
come
pick
back
up
next week for point 1.
point 5. We're being optimistic.
Point
Point five.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But anyway, thank you all for joining us tonight. Hope you had a great time. I know I did. I hope all my players did as well. So, Julia?
Drink water. It's so good for you. Also, just because it's cold outside, for most people, doesn't mean that you should stop drinking water, because you cannot persist off of coffee and hot chocolate. I wish it worked that way, but it does not. Coffee actually
Right.
dehydrates you faster because it's caffeine. Well, even decaf will dehydrate you, but that's beside the point. Drink water.
Drink water. Dane, anything from you?
Spotify and YouTube are going to be a little bit behind because I am still out of town. But when I get back, I will crack down and get those uploaded and caught up as soon as possible. Shouldn't be too long, though. And I'm going to start looking into iTunes.
Ooh,
Fine.
exciting.
Well, amazing. Again, hope you had a good time. We will see you next week with the party venturing into the waste. So, have a good night, y'all.
Bye-bye.